know you.
Yeah, we've been here before.
We're friends.
We're really good friends.
I'm so excited to see you.
What do friends usually do?
I have an idea.
What is it?
Let's dance.
Yes.
Okay, I love dancing.
Yay.
So nice.
Hey, what are you doing?
What is going on here?
What is the point?
What are you doing? What is the purpose of this?
You just look stupid dancing around like that.
Hey, I have an idea. Boal, do you know how to dance? Did anyone ever show you how to dance? Maybe you can show the cops how to dance, little me's.
Yeah, let's do that.
I don't know about this.
Feels kind of stupid.
Just try to move your body. Like this.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, I'm getting the hang of this now. Yeah, like this.
I guess it's not so stupid.
This feels kind of good. Yeah. Woohoo.
You're actually a really good dance partner.
All right, thank you, Team A. Let's come on back, everyone. Do you guys want to say anything, or would you rather hear anything from the audience?
I'm all ears.
Open it up.
I really loved how y'all came together by dancing. That was really sweet. It's just a very like, I don't know, it's not just a puppet thing, it's a human thing. We just dance in a circle and we feel a little bit better.
And then I also liked how the cops in the heads came in and was like, you look stupid dancing like that. Because I feel that as well when I'm dancing in a room of people and I'm like hypercritical of myself and my body. So yeah, I saw myself in there.
What did you got? Oh, go ahead, Shaco.
I was just gonna say I like the concept of dancing, creating a commonality or understanding between the cop and the self. We were gonna do something similar to that in ours, but it's a little different. So
It is a really interesting choice because it's again, it's like going through the body to try to overcome the oppression, the internal and external oppression, is going in through the body first, because obviously the construct of the mind is very opposite in that context. What do you guys think about the tactic that they used of empathy and perhaps seeing past behavior, trying to make the cop comfortable?
Has anyone ever taught you how to dance before? That was just like that bridge into like, oh, okay, I understand you better. Let me help you. And then you can maybe help me.
Yeah. So it's like that one move of the self opened a door. What did that take, you guys who made that, coming to that idea? What does it take to do that actually, though? You know, just to befriend the cop in the head.
Yeah, it was just exactly what came up. I think that word empathy was really key for me in generating that negotiation scene where I come in and speak between the two, like without judgment. I think that was the biggest thing for me, was just, yeah, treating Jean-Paul like a little kid who was like mad because he just never got a chance to try it himself.
Anybody else? Team A, did you, in your dialogue in getting from, okay, we have to make a puppet show about the cop in our heads, to having your own individual cops, to having this, what was that dialogue like? And what did you discover? Was anything revealed that you didn't know before about yourself or other people or connections between the two?
Okay, my first thought is okay, when we went into it, Cooper's thought of how we should organize it was to just play with the puppets. Like just to have our puppets converse as our puppets would converse about the topic we were discussing. Now that opened up a conversation of how like, oh, we don't really play like this. We don't know how to play like this. So how are we supposed to know how to play out situations like this? But once we talked about it and practiced it, it wasn't awkward anymore.
That's an excellent way that playback theater operates, that you discovered there in the dialogue, that the actual just transference of the dialogue to puppets, you know, in the same way that some of the puppets insulted me yesterday, and I love that. It's really great fun to be insulted by puppets. It reminds you to be, you know, of humility, right? It's just puppet.
Can I
insulting.
just say, I had to like unpeel like Jean-Paul's little sheriff badge and his like angry eyes, and I like stuck them onto a piece of paper last night so I would know where they were today when I had to reconstruct Jean-Paul, and just seeing my sock laid out with all his little components taped down to a piece of paper, that in itself was like everything to me. Just seeing my little cop in my head deconstructed like that, like a paper doll or something, that feeling alone was really liberating for me.
You know, both in things like Gestalt therapy and in immersive learning, these are the constructs, right? You actually do the thing. And by doing the thing, you come to an awareness and an understanding and then a synthesis, right? Cool.
Yeah, but no, the approach for us to just try to play to begin with, that was crucial for my piece, at least, because like, yeah, when we first tried rehearsing it, I just stopped like halfway through. I stopped. I didn't know what to do. And then when we came up to, yeah, the conclusion of just like playing, I'm like, okay, that's I can try that. Yeah.
So your imagination got engaged. How and how do we solve problems in the world? Do we, like, there's a formula and we follow the formula that someone else created, and then therefore the problem is solved? Maybe on your Mac, when you get like a small virus through Google, yes, you can like get a YouTube video and do that. When I have to turn in the grades and I have to follow institutional procedure, I get a little YouTube video from admin and they teach me how to do that, right? But these are not intellectual procedures. These are technical procedures which are learned in a different manner. But in life, right? It's not like that. So how do we learn, really? How do
Yeah,
animal-
sorry.
Go ahead.
Can I respond to
Sure.
that? I brought up in my group that I couldn't remember the last time that I was like playing with somebody and I started to play too hard and accidentally hurt their feelings or got them physically hurt. Maybe we started to get too excited and we actually like tripped on each other. And then you kind of have to talk it out as kids, like, do you want to keep playing this game or do you want to go inside? Do you want to play a different game? Do you not like this game? And that kind of thought of like, well, how do you learn? I just couldn't remember the last time that I like accidentally roughhoused or played too hard with somebody and had to learn from like really following through a whole conversation with that person. Like, oh, well, you're at my house playing for an hour, like you're here for another 45 minutes. And if you're hurt and crying, I need to make it up to you so that we're not just like mad at each other for the rest of the time you're at my house, basically. But that small scale, like blowing that up and I'm exploring like, how can I still revisit that as an adult? Because it's like, I could really learn something from that, you know?
Where
We all
where
could.
do these games, these imaginary games that we play as children, are learning about environment or social relationships? Yeah. Animals, how do they learn? How does a cat learn to hunt when it's small? How does it
Watching its mom.
playing, actually?
Playing. Yeah.
Playing. In order to learn how to survive, animals in the wild have a play instinct. Even if the mother is not present, a cat has an instinct to play with moving things. Anything moving gets their attention. When they play with the moving things, they're not very coordinated in the beginning because they're kittens and they have less coordination. As they play more and more, their coordination gets stronger and stronger. Their instinct, their understanding of what this is about, and that it's about food and getting it becomes clearer, and then they're able to survive. Yeah? In our human world, where does that play that we do with imaginary games to socialize ourselves get transferred to in adult life?
I think mostly just like body and like spatial awareness.
How about intimate relationships, particularly intimate sexual relationships? When was the last, I hear this, what I don't remember the last time I roughhoused or I did this or that with a person and I wasn't, maybe I went too far, right? If you think about that truly in your life now, the last time you did that was probably with whoever your intimate partner is, when you were making a joke in conversation and something got emotional, or when you were in a physical act and something got, oh, strange. Yeah. That's where it transfers to. Why does it transfer there? Our learning, what we need to learn changes. This is biology, like natural biology. Yeah. What we need to learn changes. What we need to learn when we're young is the stove is hot, how to run, how to walk, how to engage in communicating with others, small problem solving, creativity, right? The first dialogue that we have, then that develops into this clarity of how am I going to live? How am I going to survive? What do I want in my life? What is a toxic person? What is a non-toxic person? All of these things, right? And they're very complex, but actually our mechanism of learning does not get more complex. We think it does, but it doesn't. We're still playing. We're still playing. So you get you get to be a teenager, you're in your first intimate relationship, you're playing, how far do I go? What is right? What is wrong? What feels good? What doesn't feel good? What did I say that was wrong? What is an insult? What is not insulting, right? And that goes on and gets more detailed and more subtle and more clear throughout life, and then less clear again in adulthood, particularly as your body changes with age, which you haven't had the chance to notice yet because the first change into adulthood is kind of like this growing, and yay, I have control of my life. And then after that, it starts to become watching the body, right? And going, how come I don't do that anymore? Right. And that like 20 is just when you first start going, how come I don't play that anymore? How come I don't like that anymore? How come I don't talk to this person anymore? Because you're done learning through play in that capacity. And that doesn't mean that that person is less than you, but two roads diverge in a yellow wood. And You took one, and another took the other, right? So yeah, play is so important to learning. What have we, I mean, a lot of what we've been doing in this class, we've been doing some really heavy duty reading and writing and reflecting, but what have we been doing in exercises? We're playing. We're playing with social concepts, we're playing with our bodies, we're playing with our imaginations, and then we take that into writing. And this is interesting, if you could reconstruct whatever the factory model of education in high school has done to you, whatever creativity it has exploited out of you, to revive that, if you could consider that writing an essay is actually playing too. What it is it's playing with intellectual concepts, constructing them, connecting them, disconnecting them, reconstructing them, articulating them, and making a space for yourself in the world as you see it. Does that make sense? It's all play, though. It's all play, right? Whether you're playing with your mind or whether you're playing with your body, it's all play. So if we can find that whenever we're facing a task that we're going, I don't want to, if you can find the sense of play in it, it'll open up, right? Because play and then curiosity, those two are like a magical combination that opens up everything. And it's just everything. Every subject matter has a way in. The way that an instructor is showing you a way in may not be your way in. Let's say you take the next class in research and statistics, or I don't know. Research statistics can be a fascinating thing. Different instructors open doors different ways. Depending on the instructor you get, you may or may not develop a curiosity unless you really become a very self-aware, intrinsically motivated, self-directed learner. And when you pick up an object and go, I don't like this, instead of going, I don't like this, and throwing it away, you go, I don't like this. Why? Why don't I like this? Why don't I like this? Huh. And when you understand why you don't like it and you can articulate it, then you can change the fact that it exists in the world and make something else. If you just don't like it, then you're just a complainer. Don't stop with, I don't like it. Go to, I don't like it and I'm going to reinvent this. Right? Okay, next one. That was beautiful, guys. I loved it.
Ruth, may I just say that like every other sentence you say, I like write down and I'm gonna make a poem out of it because it's really cool. Just wanted to say that.
Oh, thank you, Ani. I feel like I talk too much sometimes, you know, and I just, yeah, I'll shut up now.
I enjoy listening to you when you talk.
Thank you, Gigi.
I'm making a compilation of Ruth quotes to put on the blog.
Oh no, that's terrible.
And I think my favorite one so far, you just said, it's really great fun to be insulted by puppets. That's just the best thing I've ever heard.
This has been sticking with me for a little bit now. I'm like, oh.
Well, better
I was
puppets.
like, oh no, I just insulted my own professor. Oh, go ahead.
Better puppets than people, right?
That's, yeah, I would love to be insulted by a puppet every day. Not by people, but just by puppets. Only puppets.
So team 2, are you ready? Team B. All right. Let's go to shutting off video. And when you are ready.
It's hard putting on puppets on both hands.
You got this, T.
Yeah.
It's so challenging. Hi. What a beautiful day. The sun is out. I hear birds. Look at those flowers. Everything just feels great today. I gotta get ready for school. Gotta make sure I look nice and cute. I can't wait to see my friends. I miss them a lot. I bet they miss me too.
Friends? What friends? Are you kidding? You think you have friends when you look like that? Is that what you're going to school in today? Oh man, I think you should change. Forget about the sunshine and flowers. Oh man. Oh man. Mm-mm.
Hey, what are you guys doing? Why are you making them feel upset just because they just want to have a good open mind for today? Why do you have to be so down on them? Just because they want to see their friends and have a good day, it doesn't mean you have to be a bully to them. That's kind of messed up, not gonna lie. Just let them be. It's okay. It's gonna be okay if you just let them be.
No, I don't want to be friends with them.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work out.
Not gonna work out. Why are you making them sad just because they want to be a little bit happy today? It's okay to have days where we don't want to feel sad. You don't have to be sad 24/7. There are days where you could allow the sunshine to come through. And it's not like it's that big of a deal. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you if you just take a minute and try to understand the person a little bit better. Maybe it could end up making a cool friendship.
Fine, I'll make it work. I can be their friend.
I guess I could try.
Thank you. I don't think it was going to be that difficult.
Thank
Jazz
you.
hands.
Yay!
So, audience,
I got this flashback to like when I was 5 and like having this like argument and then like getting in trouble and then like an adult, someone like facilitating me making up with another kid. And that's what I saw here. And I realized that, you know, while watching, I'm like, well, this isn't really relevant to me because I'm an adult now. But like my psyche still works on this level, you know, especially with what holds me back, and, you know. So the elementary humor is great.
isn't it amazing how puppets can embarrass us because they reveal our own, they show us that actually we do operate on this very like fundamentally sometimes almost infantile level, right? Yeah. What came back to me was a similar episode as a child when I had a birthday party, and one of the people coming to my birthday party was one of these popular types, right? I was all over the place. I had friends all over the place, but this one popular type convinced everyone that this one other very close friend of mine was a nerd and shouldn't be allowed to come. So for some reason, this whole mob mentality got going. And they called on my house phone and disinvited this person who was really a close friend of mine. And I allowed it. I allowed it. So I was like Eichmann, you know. I was like Eichmann as a Nazi. I just allowed it. Oh, sure, I'm not responsible. My mother, holy crap. She came in and she was like, "What are you doing?" She canceled the party. She kicked everyone out. We went directly over to this girl's house who was actually my best friend. And I don't know how I had gotten, it was just like there were 10 other girls and there was me and they were on my phone. And I'm like, you know, But I had to take responsibility. And my mother was like, well, you allowed it. So let's go over and talk to your friend. And so that's what this brought up for me, which is so interesting too, because it's very much like what Saran was saying, right? Like it went directly to that memory. So we carry these lessons with us, and we can't seem, it seems that we have to keep repeating, you know. What about you guys?
I had a lot of fun. It was also kind of a struggle because, I mean, I work at a daycare and I work with 2-year-olds. And so playing with puppets isn't like out of the ordinary. It was a day-to-day routine that I had to do. But it was so different, like playing with puppets with like 2 to 3-year-olds than it was to like adults. So I'm like, oh my God, like I was always like, oh, like as an adult, you can't play with puppets and like you can't be childish. And so stepping out of that like box that I was put in was kind of difficult, but it was also like a lot of fun. And I didn't really even I didn't notice, like now looking back at it, it is very like childlike, like solving the lesson, like holding both hands and be like, okay, let's talk about this. Just kind of funny because like I don't know, I'm in the mindset and I have the background of like working with like children. And it's also just conveniently too that I'm wearing my work shirt. And so it's really funny that you brought that up because it was every day that you would have to sit with 2 kids, hold both their hands. That okay, what did you do and what did you do and why did we do this and how can we resolve the issue in a friendly way? So now that you mention it, it's like wow, that was really just like working with like a child.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's interesting how as people get older, we think we become more complicated and like as far as conflict mitigation and all that stuff. But yeah, the best way to work through it is like, how would you do this with like a 3-year-old? Because we're all still there. Yeah.
It's not and it's not an insult to realize that. It's not an insult to self to realize that. It's, there are different aspects of us. So if you want to call it, let's call it for now, the ego. The ego is a necessary component of a human being, right? The ego is needed for survival because the ego is about the self. It's all about me, all about me. It's my movie. It's all about me. Why does that exist? Because I have to be able to survive. So if I don't have a little bit of that mentality of me first, I can't even put on my child's mask before the airplane goes down because I was already, I'm just not thinking. I can't do anything. Me. I don't even see my effect on the world. And when things happen back to me when the consequences of my actions occur, I'm shocked because I can't understand. It's my world. Why didn't it just magically go my way, whatever I want, even if I'm acting like a shithead? Well, ego just needs awareness balanced with other aspects of being and the self, right? It's not that we have to throw it out or smash it, but it is infantile. It's based on the first 3 chakras. It's based on the seed of survival, right? It is your evolutionary survival mechanism. But it can get out of hand as we get older, especially, and there's no one there to hold both hands of the different children and say, okay, now what's going on? We actually have to become that negotiator internally inside ourselves with the forces of, the cop in the head and our own free will and creativity, or with external forces within our community, right? We have to become that negotiator between the ego, which is us, which is rightfully us, which is the ego that is the one thing that tells you, yes, it is okay to want to be a rock star. It is okay to get up on stage and perform. It is okay to write awesome poetry. Yes, that's your ego is what protects that. But if that ego gets too strong and too much into itself, it's going to hurt you, right? It's going to become more of the cop in the head that's encasing you and will not allow you to go outside. So it's about balance, right? Puppets are this great way of making humility occur, of making fun of the ego without seriously injuring it, and thus making it aware of itself. The fact that you feel challenged or silly or stupid as an adult playing with a puppet is exactly what needs to happen. Because that is the encounter with the cop in the head. Somebody told you that adults don't play with puppets. Bullshit. Go to the puppet resources in the classroom, please. They're all videos. And watch them, because adults play with puppets, beautiful puppets, giant puppets, social activism puppets, political puppets, beautiful traditional danced puppets that come only in shadows on animal skin that's been carved in a certain manner by farmers in the north of Thailand. Yes, adults play with puppets for centuries. In Vietnam, they have water puppets, and the puppeteers stand in the water so they can't be seen, and the puppets look like they're floating on the water, and there's candlelight. It all happens in candlelight at night, and it's magical. Yeah. So it helps to throw off these limitations. We are allowed to play. We must play as adults. And not just sports that are predestined for us, or gym machinery that tells us to move in this manner so we can stretch this muscle so we'll live longer. For what? For what, if that's all it is? If all you're doing is squats, but you're not connecting heaven and the earth? They're both the same action. Which one do you want to do? Right? A squat or connecting heaven and earth? They have the same, the motion has the same effect on the body, but the imagination can make the action into a healing action, a liberating action also, not just I'm toning my body so that I fit in with everybody else so they think I'm beautiful. You really care? You think at 90 years old you're going to give a shit? Because I'll tell you, at 50, I give a lot less of a shit than I ever did. And I'm still young. Don't let anybody tell you adults don't do this, adults don't do that. You're an adult. You tell people what adults do. Right? Let's go for number 3, shall we?
All right. I'd like to welcome everybody to Couples Codependency Zoom Therapy. My name is Dr. Schultz. I have a master's in psychology from the University of Hamburg. And with us, we have 3 other very well-established therapists with us today. If you would like to introduce yourselves, I'm sure everyone is very excited to meet you.
Hi, my name is Dr. Schneebly. I'm a sex and relationship therapist. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you all.
Hi, my name is Dr. Marcus. I attended the University of Michigan and still studying there, and I'm studying neuropsychology. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Sir Gluck. I am just coming out of 3 years in silence from the wilderness in Mexico, and I specialize in consciousness. Thank you.
Excellent. Welcome all. Now we would like to welcome our patients, couples. Please come in.
What the fuck is it,
Perhaps we can begin by having the self introduce themselves. Would you like to begin? Hello, my name is JJ. All right.
This is Blubber. She doesn't like to say much. Pretty scary.
Hi, this is Stacy. She also doesn't like to talk.
Hi, my name's Kim. Hi.
Hello, my name Mr. Problem. I hate therapy. I hate my wife. She's good for nothing. She can suck a dick.
Hey, you said it, big man. At least we have one thing in common here. Didn't think I'd find that in therapy. Well, while I'm here, this stupid therapy my wife dragged me to, my name is Angus. Some of you might have seen me on the commercials, but I am here and I hate you all.
Amen, brother. Fuck these bitches, am I right? Ugh.
Amen.
Amen.
Hey, my name's Chad. What's up, bros?
Chad.
Therapy's stupid, but maybe we could hit the gym after.
Well, now that we've all introduced ourselves, I think it would be a good time for the selves to enter a breakout room and discuss amongst themselves.
Okay, fine. I hate therapy anyway.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I I feel very, very restricted in my house. I can't go anywhere or do anything without feeling constantly supervised by my husband. He is always dictating to me what to do. I just sit around all day, wait for him, and I want to live. I can't stand him.
I have a similar experience where I can't do anything without feeling like I'm doing something wrong. I just want to be happy, and like play around and like have fun, enjoy myself. And every time I try something like that, it just hits me and throws me and tells me I'm so stupid and tells me to shut up, and I just feel so worthless.
I'm understanding how you're feeling. My husband doesn't even know my real name. It's not Stella or whatever he calls me, it's Star, and I'm so sick of it. The last time I ever really spoke up in our relationship was when he hit me like last week, and I can't take it no more.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to leave him, but I don't know how. I don't know how to leave.
Do it. I'm done. Just do it. You can do this. I believe in you.
Yeah, let's leave.
What do you mean we can just leave? Where are we gonna go?
We can do that?
Let's go to Mexico.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess so.
Girls trip.
Fantastic. Audience.
I love how you set it up as they were couples, like on a Zoom call trying to get help, like some counseling for their situation.
I love how inefficient the human negotiators were in the whole situation. And that is so much, brought in the construct of therapy and these specialists and these experts that, and the division between how effective that really is. And
Yeah, Ruth, I got the same impression because y'all were setting it up like, all right, something's gonna happen that's really, these experts know what they're doing. And yeah, it took a different direction than I anticipated. And yeah, you had my attention the whole time. It's really cool.
definitely a narrative of liberation, I would say.
Yeah, Grace, when your puppet said, "My name isn't even what he calls me, it's actually Star, and I'm so sick of it," that like really stood out to me. Just like how toxic the relationship between the two is in your puppet. Like, I loved her accessories and just like, wow, your puppets are amazing. All of your puppets are amazing. Like Siobhan, your Blubber, is that her name?
Blubber,
I really like Blubber. I want to know, like, I want to reach out and feel Blubber's like shaking limbs. And I think Blubber shows like just in the construction of Blubber, she's so fragile. I see it in the puppet. She can't just be thrown around as a puppet. Blubber really needs to be placed down somewhere special. Um, and yeah, just your puppets are amazing in this group. Like, and Jocko, your Gestalt, like looking puppet with like the eyes and the nose, it really reminds me of this Gestalt book that I read, where all the illustrations are so stark like that and the features are so prominent. It just reminded me like Fritz Perls kind of era psychodrama, like, yeah, I don't know, word stream.
All of these details, like in the construction or whatever puppet you used are actually really important. That's part of the power and potential of theater. So in creating, for instance, Sivan, in creating Blubber, do you feel that you were able to make tangible something that perhaps words fell short?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it's hard to describe. I mean, Blubber. So you have these components, right? You have the name Blubber, then you have this glove. What is it? What is a hand? What did we learn the other day? Hands are agency, right? This is our agency. So you've got a glove, not a hand, which has no agency but still looks like agency, encased in this shaky stuff that accentuates how trembling the hand is. Are you hearing the metaphors here? Hand, glove, lack of agency, shaking, trembling hand, trembling, no agency. Name, Blubber. Huge metaphor, right? So when you get into creating these things and you get an intuition as a theater maker, a puppet maker, or whatever, you go, I know what this needs to look like. You don't question it, right? You just make it, right? Because if you question it, then it's not the truth anymore. And that's where our new contemporary religion of science is undoing itself by disavowing how important the imagination and the freedom of imagination and the arts and the artistic imagination and the metaphorically thinking imagination is to critical thinking. Without those other components and all those spicy ingredients of your imagination, critical thinking is just a robot with a good program. We could replace you with AI. Do you want to be replaced? Because that's what's going on now. It's incredibly important right now. The only thing we have different than what they're trying to replace the labor force with in the modern world is we have a radical creative force, which is unpredictable. When we create AI, it has a predictability because it's been programmed by the human brain. Yeah, there are some loopholes to that predictability, but ultimately, we're the inventors, not our machines. We have a choice now when you're getting your education and you're expanding your mind at this age to choose. Do you want to be a worker cog in the machine, or do you want to reinvent it? So, and I'm saying this because attitudes towards our learning are incredibly important. Like I said, playing with concepts, engaging in things and looking for the door in, even boring things. Where's my door in? How do I explain to everybody else why algebra is not necessary? Right? Okay. Because if you have to be able to turn that concept over and then articulate it, right? That's creativity and curiosity. And it all has to do with creating the world that you want to live in. The world that existed before all this craziness that's happening right now, it's kind of decaying. Yeah, it's been decaying for a long time. So that's not a bad thing. Everybody's been walking around because you guys are young, so you're looking at my generation and older, and everybody in my generation and older is walking around going, oh, things are so bad. Oh, everything's over. Oh, it's all getting destroyed. You know what the force of destruction is? It is the same force as creation. In order to create, one must destroy. They go hand in hand. In order to create a new idea, to form a new thought, one must destroy the old one first. Dissect it. Therefrom, the new thought arises. No? So we can't be afraid of the unknown. We can't look for answers from others. Find the answers for yourselves. When you go out of this class, which is very, free thinking and democratic, choose how you want to interact with the material. Choose what, even if you're in a knowledge receptacle situation in an online class at a giant university that isn't Prescott, all right? Choose, know that you're being treated as a knowledge receptacle, know what you want to do with that, how you want to interface with it, and what you want to do with it. Agency. Your attitude toward learning should be about the world you want to create and not what other people expect of you. And in the end, the grades may seem important right now, but you're all really fine students. You should know that. You're thinkers, you're creative, you're engaged, you work hard, you try your best. And everybody, we all, including me, has their shortcomings, and we all beat ourselves up. That's human. But you're good students, So that means that you've got, the world can open up for you, but you've got to open it up and don't accept this idea that the grades don't matter. I know they matter to you now, but they don't matter to you. You're not going to lose your scholarship because you're all good students, okay? But on the other hand, 20 years from now, they don't matter. So being concerned when you go into a class about what the expectation is from the instructor is less interesting to both you, the instructor, and your future than what you expect from yourself in that class and what you expect from that class, right? So take the bull by the horns, right? And don't be afraid to engage in your learning journey very actively. The people who teach you, we only know are 20 or 30 or 40 years more experienced than you. That's the capacity of our knowledge. Yeah. So you have to invent what comes after that. Let's take a break, and then we'll do these two demos. We'll do one demo, which will take like 20 minutes, and then we'll do the next demo, which will take like 20 minutes, and then we'll be done for the day, probably a little early, so everyone can go out in the sunshine, hopefully a little bit, and then your homework is your performances for tomorrow. There's nothing else than that. So, and maybe reviewing your blog so you kind of get an idea. Let's come back at 2:30. Yeah? Okay. Thanks for the great performances.